And when that's happening, maybe you have to more security. But when sometimes we defend with 3 or we play with 3, it's because I think we are going to play better and we're going to dominate. And when that's happened, when we made that change, we were lucky. Because against Everton, we missed 2 penalties. Or for example, Chelsea, when this kind of thing happened, you have in that balance and the confidence. And in the first time on the period of the with the manager is important the results, because after that your results the players trust you a little bit more on you.
But there's another thing that you know yourself, when you first arrived at Barcelona, I struggled to understand what you wanted. Because, and I think the team did also at the beginning. I'm sure you remember Numancia away, Sporting Gijón at home. We struggled at the beginning to understand what you wanted, and I can see a bit that with that team sometimes. And I know sometimes you were getting up on the bench and trying to tell me some stuff, and I was like, because the way you are, you see everything, and sometimes it can be a problem because you see everything. So sometimes some players, do you think is it because sometimes they don't maybe understand your message, as if right now that they need to, them and you having the same kind of level of understanding each other, or is it simply also down to quality? Because the game against Everton, and I'm not going to name them all the games that you play at home, you should have won. You know, so we would have been talking about a different Man City right now if you won all those games, because you would have been with Chelsea up there. But you're not, and I know that you're not going to look into that and saying, oh no, we should have won. But do you think it's down to how you deliver the message, or do you think also it's down to quality? Because sometimes you have guys that they don't understand it or they cannot execute it also. That can be also a problem.
No, when they don't get the message or they understand the mission, it's your problem.
Okay.
It's your problem, it's the coach problem. So what all the managers in the world, it doesn't matter how good you are if your players don't understand what they're looking for, or your players don't understand what do you want. So no sense. So that is ridiculous, because all the people are at home, you and all former players, the journalists analyzing. You are clear what is going to happen, but the important is to understand the players. And but I think at the end, all the information is going to come up, get out, and it's going to happen.
You think at one point that everybody's going to understand what you want, and obviously what's good for the team? And I think, for me, seeing it from the outside, I think that for the first time it's taking a bit longer than what it happened for you before.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
And there's one thing that I want to add, because I get annoyed when people ask you that question. I'm not going to ask you that question. What I'm going to ask you is...
You can do that.
No, I'm not going to ask you that question, because I love managers that want to play out from the back. But every time that you've been asked that question, basically that people are asking you to go against what you believe in, what made you, what's you. How annoyed and frustrated do you get when people always ask you, do you play out from the back, you always want to press, you should change it. And I think you do it the right thing personally of not changing, but do you get frustrated?
No, I'm not frustrated, I understand. So, but what should I do to change? The people say you have to change, the people have to tell me what I should do, what I have to do to change. The way
I don't think you should, but I understand what you're saying.
Of course I understand.
Then what? Yeah, okay.
Of course I understand, because they are England. They play in England. They all their lives living here and looking that game. I understand completely. And they win and lose in that way.
Same as you.
I was born in a little town in Catalonia, so I grew up there, and I was really inspired in the way they play in that way, and I moved on to Germany. We did it in Barcelona. It was maybe easy because it was the best player ever, and it was you and Samuel and huge players helped me to be better manager. But I move on in Germany, and I adapt to Germany. For example, the counter-attacks when in Spain happened few times. In Germany they are amazing, and I adapt, but never lose what I believe. And I came here in Old Trafford, in Emirates, and like this, and I show my way. And of course, sometimes win, sometimes lose. And here I have to adapt that. But what should I do? What I have to do in English football? The way they play, I have to. No, I will adapt a little bit, of course, the quality of that, but the other, I don't know what I have to do. Another match, I have to sit here beside you and do what the people say. Because the people say, you have to see more pragmatic, more clinical, more pragmatic than me, I'm sorry. Like a number, pragmatic is numbers. It's not when I'm talking about pragmatic, we're not talking about the way or the something discussed about football. It's numbers. And numbers, I'm good. When talking about numbers, I'm not talking about the people say Pep won in Barcelona, but it was boring. Or Pep won in their teams in Bayern, but it was boring. I understand completely that. But when I understand numbers concede, goals make titles, and sorry guys, it was good. But in here, in the way I play, so I arrived here, and we did it in the beginning, because we did it very well, and when we don't win against, especially home, because curiously we were able to win in Burnley, Crystal Palace, West Brom. So I thought, wow, we would have problems in that phases. And we won, and we're quite solid. And at home, when we're playing much, much better than Crystal Palace, Burnley, or